At this time, I would like to introduce our moderator for today's presentation. Lauren Smith is a Senior Product Marketing Manager for Government and Regulated Industries at Datadog. She is a go-to-market leader who specializes in connecting highly regulated audiences with best-in-class cloud, SaaS, and AI solutions. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Lauren. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Heaven, and thank you to Carousel for hosting our session today. I'm so excited to be moderating and to introduce our two guest speakers. Today, we're joined by Jeff Claunch, who is the Director of Enterprise Hosting Solutions at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, where he provides strategic leadership for the USDA DISC. With over 2 decades of experience in government administration and information technology, Jeff has a proven track record of delivering results in cloud computing, IT service management, and data center operations. We're also joined by Chris Condon, who is the Director of Enterprise Observability at ECCO Select, where he leads real-time monitoring solutions for USDA DISC. With over 15 years of program management experience, he specializes in observability, SaaS solutions, and IT operations. Jeff and Chris, thank you so much for being here today. Before we go any further, let's take a quick look at the agenda. First, Jeff will share a little bit more with us about USDA DISC and the importance of observability. And then Chris will walk us through some of the USDA use cases, the challenges and successes that they've experienced, and the future roadmap. Then I'll provide a brief demo, and we'll close things out with some procurement perks and next steps for all of you. With that, I'll pass it over to Jeff. The floor is all yours.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks everyone for joining today. I hope that we can show you a little bit of what we do at the USDA and what the data center does, and also how our transition to Datadog and the observability solution they offer really helped our business grow. So as Lauren said, I'm Jeff Claunch. I'm the Director of the Enterprise Hosting Solutions at the Department of Agriculture. And more specifically, I manage the data center and hosting side of all of the USDA's Digital Infrastructure Services Center business lines. So I'd like to take just a few minutes of your time and provide you a kind of a deeper dive into what we do and about, again, our transition to our observability platform with Datadog. And then at the end, if you'd like more information about what DISC can do for you as a federal agency, we might, and if you find that we might be a good fit for your business line, please don't hesitate to reach out through the contact information that will be provided at the end. So what is USDA DISC? So we are a customer-focused fee-for-service organization that provides secure, reliable, and scalable end-to-end information technology services for all of the USDA's mission areas and for other non-USDA government partners across the government. So we provide shared services through a vast ecosystem of technology that consists of both commercial cloud landing zones as well as our USDA provided and operated on-prem landing zones. And we provide our agency and other agencies with a full breadth of services from 3 divisions within the Digital Infrastructure Services Center, including enterprise applications, enterprise networking, and then my organization, Enterprise Hosting. So enterprise hosting does just exactly what it sounds like. We provide infrastructure services, platform services, and co-location services to the Department of Agriculture and non-USDA customers, and there's more than 35 of them today. We manage services and systems for all of the USDA, programs for FEMA, for the Federal Aviation Administration, DoD, and many, many other customers as well. Maybe some of you even that are on the line today. Additionally, my teams manage 2 physical enterprise data centers for the USDA, as well as cloud landing zones in all of the major cloud environments. DISC data centers are a national asset, and we maintain critical USDA infrastructure and business systems, USDA programs, financial systems, forest fire systems, geospatial data systems, and many others. So as you might imagine, reliability, availability, security, and customer service are key tenets to all of the DISC staff. Additionally, we have a full suite of other PaaS products and services, including mainframe, COTS applications, database applications, and the list really goes on. And we provide all those services through a shared services model that benefits by agencies by reducing costs, by building at scale, and just the economies of scale that we gain from having so many of you join us in our services. Our products and services, as the slide shows, are all FedRAMP certified, and we were one of the very first federal agencies to provide FedRAMP services within the GSA marketplace, and we continue to take security very seriously today. So as I mentioned, reliability, availability, it's our brand. We have a full service desk staff that's available to customers 24/7 by 365 days a year. And today we ensure the availability of more than 5,000 instances hosted both on-prem and in the cloud. And we're monitoring the health and performance of our products and services and our customers' products and services and landing zones exclusively with Datadog today. So the demand for our services is growing, but things are beginning to look a little different for us as we're working towards shifting from a more traditional data center to an organization focused on hybrid cloud and a more managed services approach. And this relationship that we have with Datadog and our vendor is a great example of that. Over the last couple of years, those strategic shifts have really allowed us to meet growing customer demand and enhance customer service for our customers, regardless of their infrastructure location, whether it's in our on-prem cloud, whether it's in the commercial cloud, or some other landing zone. But it also has made monitoring, as you might imagine, for reliability and availability, a more challenging problem, hence the need for a tool that can do more than just simple infrastructure monitoring. We've moved towards observability platforms. So as we move on, I wanted to make sure that we spent just a second defining what observability is, because I think it's important to moving forward. So this is probably the only slide I'm going to read to you, but observability, as I see it, is the practice of measuring a system's current state by analyzing data that it generates from a variety of sources such as logs, metrics, and traces. It's a proactive and investigative approach rather than a simple up-down approach to infrastructure monitoring. And instead, it provides a holistic view of our entire environment. And finally, observability helps provide a more technical and contextual analysis to help explain why technical problems occur, which can improve system reliability, availability, and efficiency. So as we move on, and observability is important to us. And why is it important? And why did we shift towards observability at DISC? So in 2022, we began a migration from a traditional up-down monitoring tool towards what we have implemented today, which is monitoring our entire infrastructure, both on-prem and in cloud. We went through a deep investigative process and ultimately selected a vendor to assist us with the migration of a more modern observability platform. And that vendor worked with us to migrate our entire solution, our entire monitoring solution to Datadog in less than 1 year. So Datadog offered us with additional capabilities above just a simple up and down, but instead provided us with a full suite of application performance and observability capabilities that really helped us to implement and be a more proactive organization, shifting towards site reliability engineering, which is something that I really desire us to be. So bringing an observability platform into your environment like Datadog allowed us to do a number of things, but I want to focus on 3 of those today. The first being, it allowed us to simplify and focus on our core business. In other words, the technical work of overseeing the availability and reliability of infrastructure and its components, it's hard, right? That's tough, tedious work that involved all portions of our organization. So why not consider automating that work and allowing a platform to do that for us so that we can focus, or you can focus, on your core business of providing awesome customer service and enhancing our already mature products rather than the toil of watching systems go up and down. So ultimately for us, it was a more modern practice and we've shifted in that direction. Secondly, it allowed us to address the scale and complexity of our environment. IT environments are complex, and ours is no different. Our DISC organization operates from 2 physical data centers, 2 to 3 cloud and virtual locations with more than 5,000 hosts, as I mentioned earlier, as well as other appliances, hardware, applications, and services that are critical to the USDA and our non-USDA partners. Thirdly, it allows us to unify performance and diagnostic data. We have the ability now to incorporate and integrate performance and diagnostic data for all applications and services within the enterprise hosting technology stack in a single place. And it's providing a lot of value to us. So there are many benefits to observability. And as data centers grow, just like ours, in complexity with increasing workloads, diverse applications, and infrastructure components, we found traditional monitoring tools just to be insufficient. So observability helped us with those shortcomings, and we brought in Datadog solutions to improve our ability to monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize those environments. So here are some key benefits on this slide to observability. One of them being real-time visibility. Datadog allowed us to provide real-time insights into the health and performance of our entire data center infrastructure. That includes all the components, hardware and software. Number 2, it provided a proactive versus a reactive engagement, right? With observability and Datadog, our teams can detect issues before they impact end users, before they cause downtime, and it goes beyond simply monitoring for problems that have already occurred in the past and enables predictive analysis and early warning. Manual monitoring is just impractical, as I mentioned. And observability platforms like this one, like Datadog, include automation features like alerting and self-healing mechanisms that can scale with your infrastructure. Thirdly, observability tools help data center operations understand the underlying causes of issues by analyzing logs, metrics, and traces in one single place, speeding up the traditional troubleshooting process. And then fourth, observability helped us to unify and correlate data, as I mentioned. We have complex distributed systems. Our teams host distributed applications on both on-premise and in cloud data centers. Observability is the key to tracking the performance and interactions of those components across all of your environment. And then observability also assisted us with shifting our culture to a more modern environment. And this is perhaps one of the unknown benefits or shocking benefits. It really allowed us to begin shifting culture and also optimizing our performance and costs and ensuring compliance and security and providing for automation and scalability as well. So by understanding resource usage patterns through detailed metrics, data centers can optimize workloads, ensuring they run efficiently and minimizing costs associated with over-provisioning or inefficient resource allocation. And it allowed our people really to shift their focus from their day-to-day up-down activities, reactive activities, and focus on the fun stuff, developing new automations and new things for the USDA. And then lastly, as I mentioned, security is really important to us. And so observability can provide better tracking of user activity, data flows, anomalies, which are crucial for maintaining security and regulatory compliance. And it also ensures visibility into potential security breaches or policy violations. So in summary, adopting observability, adopting Datadog techniques really allowed us to ensure higher reliability, faster problem resolution, and more efficient management of our resources. So as we move forward, I'll ask Chris to talk us through some of the enhancements that Datadog brought to us at the USDA, and then some use cases that we're focused on as well. So Chris.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. My name is Chris Condon. I'm the Director of Observability for ECCO Select, and I also provide system integration and operational support for the USDA DISC Enterprise Monitoring Engagement. I do want to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to Jeff and USDA for their partnership with ECCO Select. ECCO Select is an advanced tier Datadog partner. We provide custom implementation solutions for Datadog, and we're also a certified Datadog reseller. So DISC contracted with ECCO Select in 2022 to provide a managed service for end-to-end real-time monitoring of their infrastructure and applications. ECCO Select in turn selected Datadog as the enterprise monitoring solution due to its superior functionality and capabilities. Ansible was and is currently used to deploy Datadog agents to all of the roughly 5,000 hosts at DISC, and the previous open source monitoring system was fully decommissioned using a phased approach to cut over monitors and alerting for all of the DISC services. The DISC Datadog deployment consists of a multi-tenant configuration for over 140 of DISC customer agreements. Additionally, ECCO Select built a custom solution to integrate Datadog with DISC's remedy ticketing system. So let's talk about a few examples of Datadog monitoring that we have in place internally at DISC. First is for DISC Enterprise Request Management System, ERMS. This is the central customer-facing request portal for DISC, serving DISC customers critical time-sensitive requests for service. ECCO Select worked with the ERMS application team to deploy the Datadog agent to gain visibility into their Kubernetes environment to see Kubernetes cluster performance metrics. Additionally, log pipelines and parsing rules were configured to enable proper log attribute collection to ingest events from ERMS log files into Datadog. We also configured multi-step synthetic monitors that emulate a user logging into ERMS via single sign-on and navigating to and submitting a test form in the application. This not only provides an automated check of the ERMS front end, but monitors site response times, as well as confirms that the basic navigation and transactional functionality is healthy. We receive very positive feedback from the ERMS application team, indicating that having the logs accessible in Datadog is much easier to work with and locate errors than in the native ERMS console. There have also been two custom integrations that have been developed with Datadog over the past year as well. The first was a custom integration with NetApp's management console called AIQUM to provide ingestion of performance metrics into Datadog. Prior to that integration, health information about the storage system was ingested into Datadog via SNMP traps using logging. Also developed was a custom integration with the VROPS management console, which is now used by DISC to track ESX host availability, allowing for the decommission of roughly 120 virtual machines that were previously used to calculate SLA uptime requirements. This closed a 33% observability gap and saved $500,000. So what I really want to stress here on this slide is that Datadog allows for any data from any system to be integrated into the Datadog platform via its API to allow for single pane of glass visibility. In addition to all of the monitoring internal to DISC that I described on the previous slide, Datadog also serves as the foundation for DISC's enterprise application monitoring service offering. I'm just going to refer to that as EAM going forward because it's a mouthful. So this service offering is available through DISC Service Catalog to customers. A key point to stress about Datadog is that the Datadog for Government platform is FedRAMP moderate authorized. This is an important differentiator for government entities who may be using a monitoring tool that is not FedRAMP authorized. USDA Forest Service is currently the largest consumer of DISC's EAM service offering. DISC and ECCO Select work closely with the Forest Service Enterprise Operations Center to implement Datadog for mission-critical applications. This includes life and limb services provided by Forest Service to support forest fire fighting and other activities. We have implemented real user monitoring, or RUM, to gain visibility into the real-time activity and experience of individual users and to justify investment decisions and track user access from across the world. So let's talk again about why is RUM important. So RUM allows the business to understand how the application is being used. It provides perspective on the value of invested dollars in the application and in user satisfaction. And it also gives visibility into problems experienced by users, providing valuable feedback to the development team for application improvements. At a high level, RUM allows you to glean key metrics on application usage, highlighting sessions per application, error rates, and regional distribution of activity. It provides insight into how different applications perform across device types and compares historical usage trends. Additionally, from an implementation standpoint, the Datadog RUM SDK allows for the speedy deployment of RUM without any intervention from developers. Additionally, DISC has also deployed application performance monitoring, or APM, for Forest Service as well. APM provides distributed tracing to allow for the tracking of requests from front end to back end and can be used to detect and diagnose complex performance problems to maintain an expected level of service. The cost of the DISC service offering includes implementation and maintenance of the Datadog monitoring solution. Training and custom configurations are available at an additional cost. From a professional services perspective, ECCO Select has embedded a resource within Forest Service who conducts training sessions, holds office hours, providing dedicated support to the Forest Service. Additionally, this resource has worked with Forest Service to create a standardized Terraform code base for Datadog resources, including modules for synthetic tests, dashboards, cloud integrations, and various monitors. An additional DISC customer that we have worked with as a subscriber of the EAM service offering is the National Finance Center. NFC provides a variety of mission-critical applications for USDA, including payroll and timekeeping functions to over 500,000 end users. DISC provides hosting services and support for these applications. This encompasses custom instances of the software that are deployed for each of NFC's major customers, as well as multiple environments for each customer instance, including production, acceptance, and test. ECCO Select deployed Datadog synthetic monitoring checks for roughly 70 NFC application instances to ensure that these critical systems are available. In addition to highly customized monitors that distribute notifications in various ways, such as through distribution lists, generating tickets through DISC's remedy ticketing system, we have also customized these monitors to trigger at specified time windows. A management dashboard was also created in Datadog that displays the uptime percentage for all of these applications. DISC also configured Datadog's out-of-the-box SQL Server integration to provide important database performance information for USDA's Empower payroll application. This monitoring has been used to identify patterns, including spikes in block SQL Service database processes, and monitors have been configured to alert on this type of activity. The SQL Server integration is just one example of over 700 integrations that Datadog has with other platforms. So where are we headed? On the next slide, we'll talk about what's next for enterprise monitoring and Datadog at DISC. First, we want to continue to grow the adoption of Datadog products we are already deploying regularly, such as synthetic monitoring. Datadog is continuously releasing new functionality as well, so we want to evaluate those products and offer them as solutions to DISC and its customers to help meet mission-critical objectives. An example of this is Datadog Database Monitoring, or DBM, which has been implemented for DISC's Cloud Vault service and was used to identify performance issues that ultimately led to the decision to upgrade the software. We also want to, as Jeff mentioned, we also want to continue to advance past reactive monitoring towards proactive monitoring. This will be possible by using tools such as application performance monitoring, Datadog's Watchdog, as well as log monitoring. And as DISC is working towards the migration from its current remedy ticketing system to ServiceNow ticketing, we're also looking forward to the integration of Datadog and ServiceNow using Datadog's native integration. This will reduce technical overhead and be a significant step forward as compared to the current Datadog integration with Remedy. The Datadog ServiceNow integration has already been implemented for Forest Service, and we will take the lessons that we have learned there and apply that to the DISC implementation of ServiceNow. One of our major priorities for this fiscal year is to facilitate and support expansion of the EAM service offering to DISC customers. This is critical. DISC has created a flexible model for its customers that will promote this activity as well. We'll also work closely with the marketing team and business relationship managers to increase lead generation and capture activities. One final item on this list is to explore AI capabilities in Datadog using the Watchdog product. DISC is evaluating 2 use cases currently for enterprise monitoring. The first is for anomaly detection with Datadog's Watchdog product. So this ties back to the second item on the slide here for proactive monitoring. And an additional use case will be for root cause analysis, which is also a component of the Datadog Watchdog product. So now I'm going to turn it over to Lauren, and she's going to do a demonstration of the Datadog product.
Thank you. All right. Well, now that we have heard some of those USDA use cases and where they're seeing success, let's do a quick demonstration and we can see the tool set in action. So here we have one of our preset AWS dashboards, which is similar to what Forest Service or other agencies may be using to monitor their environment. Here they can track everything from their EC2s to the average response time of their load balancers, serverless functions, and many other metrics. And Datadog dashboards are available out of the box. They're highly customizable with drag and drop widgets. So for example, we have the query value widget, which makes it easy to add data visualization. Now, getting an agency set up is also made quick and simple with the Datadog agent and integrations. We're the only platform to provide 800 plus vendor-backed integrations, including support for all of the major cloud providers and other popular SaaS providers like ServiceNow, which was just mentioned. Here we have over 100 integrations with AWS alone. So getting set up with the AWS integration would only take a few minutes. And once it's configured, Datadog will automatically discover and assign tags to all of your resources. Now, many agencies also need more granular metrics on some of their resources. And so to do this, they would install the lightweight and open source Datadog agent. Now, once the agency is set up, they can start monitoring the health of their infrastructure. And here we have a host map. So all of these hexagons are individual hosts. They're color-coded based on CPU utilization. And to drill deeper, again, you can use those tags. So we have the cloud provider tag. And now you can see how the infrastructure is split up by the cloud and even on-premises workloads. And Datadog is unique, unlike other providers. We were built with tagging from day one as a core part of our functionality. Now, let's look at another tool that Chris mentioned. We have application performance monitoring. So here we have a flame graph or an end-to-end distributed trace where we can see a request, how long it took, and the steps that it went through. And depending on the span selected, you can see everything from network, processes, and even code level detail. And here you can also see the SQL queries. If we select this one, we can see that integration with database monitoring. You can see the query request and errors, and the most recent explain plan, which may be of interest to any DBAs that we would have on the session today. You can also see correlated logs. And Datadog can bring all of this together, right, in one unified platform, eliminating the need to switch back and forth between different tools and different platforms. This will allow your engineers to really be proactive in their troubleshooting and resolving any issues. So here we can see some errors, and the cause of this error is a failed connection to the fraud prevention API, so they can get right on resolving that. Once you identify an error like this, you may want to see the dependencies, which we can do with Service Catalog. So we'll just give this a second to load. Now, Service Catalog will map all of the agency services based on how frequently they're talking to each other. So even new engineers can come in and start understanding a very complex system pretty immediately. Now, we can see another one of their critical services here is generating an error. Let's take a look at this one. And now you can see the dependencies both upstream and downstream and start resolving the issue by looping in the appropriate teams. Now, they may need even more context to resolve an error like this. So let's go over to logs. Now we can see all of the logs that may be correlated to that error. And here this says web store, but this could be any government service that's being delivered digitally. And you can use filters on the side to find the exact logs that you're looking for, but with millions of logs coming in over 15 minutes, that can be like finding a needle in a haystack. So we have patterns that will greatly reduce the complexity there. So now you can see with patterns that over 1 million logs is really only 31 types of errors, and that will help the engineers know exactly where they need to focus. Here, one of the leading errors would be that there's an excessive number of API calls. Now, Patterns is powered by Watchdog AI, which is our best-in-class AI engine that underpins the entire platform. Chris mentioned that it will help with surfacing insights and anomalies. Now, before we wrap up the demonstration, let's go over to our digital experience suite and real user monitoring, which many agencies are using to proactively improve their customer experience. So real user monitoring is going to provide end-to-end visibility of your front-end browser and mobile applications. Here in the RUM dashboard, they can see some of their top views with the highest error rate, as well as most visited pages, total number of sessions. You can look at performance here and even start analyzing errors at a high level. Now, you may want to see one of these front-end errors just play out, and that's where session replay comes in. So let's see if we can look at one of these. Let's try this one. Or this one that has some frustration that is detected would be a good fit here. So this is an example of the user experience being recreated for your team. And this says Cloud Cache, it's our demo environment, but this could be a citizen experience on a government website. Perhaps they're trying to renew their driver's license or reserve tickets to visit a national park. I mean, we want to make sure that they're having the optimal experience. Now, the last thing we'll take a look at is synthetic monitoring and testing, which helps agencies proactively pinpoint performance issues and user flows before they get to production by simulating that user journey. So here they can see all of their recent tests from the past hour, the tests that have been successful, and those that have alerts. And setting up a new test is fairly simple as well. They would need to just input the URL that they are wanting to test and some additional information. Then they can select various locations, including private locations, where they want to conduct the test and run the test. So that concludes our mini tour of the platform today. And as you saw, Datadog is a end-to-end observability and security platform. We really are able to unify those data sets. So I'll hand it back over to Chris to share some of the procurement perks and next steps.
Thank you, Lauren, for that very informative demonstration. Really did an excellent job of showcasing all of the tremendous value that Datadog brings, touching on a lot of the things that I talked about and Jeff talked about in terms of application performance monitoring. So that's very useful for the development team to identify issues that may occur with regards to distributed tracing within the application. Real user monitoring, we touched on that as well earlier in terms of really getting an idea of how the user is interacting with the application. So yeah, on this slide, I want to go ahead and talk about, so now that we've kind of seen all the benefits of Datadog, how can you become a subscriber to the monitoring service? So if you're already an existing USDA DISC customer, the Enterprise Application Monitoring Service offering is available through DISC Catalog right now. So you can reach out directly to your assigned DISC Business Relationship Manager to obtain more information. And in the chat, we just added the contact information, so the email address to reach out to, as well as the link on the DISC website to get more information. And additionally, you can also use that information that was just put in the chat if you're not an existing DISC customer and would like to become one. You can reach out to that email address. It's disc.marketing@usda.gov, or you can go to www.usda.gov/disc/about. And you can also reach out directly to Jeff Claunch, who spoke earlier, and his email address is jeff.claunch@usda.gov. And so let's talk about the benefits of being able to procure the Enterprise Application Monitoring Service offering through DISC. So it's really easy to do, like I mentioned, through the service catalog. Already have USDA agency customers that are subscribing to the service, as well as the cost savings of having to circumvent the procurement process, right? So that's one avenue. And then in addition, as I previously mentioned, ECCO Select is an advanced tier Datadog partner. So if you would like to reach out to Lindsay to get more information about that, you can reach out to Lindsay Murphy. Her email address is lmurphy@eccoselect.com. And now I'm going to transition it back to Lauren. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you again to ECCO Select, Jeff, and USDA, as well as Carahsoft and all of our attendees. And I will add, the demonstration that I went through was pretty high level. If you're interested in a more customized or detailed demo with our team, we're happy to provide that. You can also check out the platform for yourself. We offer a 14-day free trial of our FedRAMP authorized platform, and you can get started using this QR code that we have on the screen.